Tonight on Newsbeat, how a few LSU students are trying to fight back against human trafficking.
And later, how a glass of bourbon might be your ticket to a healthy diet.
And finally, how one LSU student sewed her way to New York City.
All this and more. Newsbeat starts right now. Hello and welcome back to Newsbeat. I'm Rachel Handley.
And I'm Trey Cuvion. Thanks for joining us. The case of Max Groover reached the courtroom today, and already there's controversy. The defense attorney for one of the students charged in the hazing death of Groover, Matthew Nakan, said Groover allegedly drank heavily and smoked marijuana before his death. Witnesses say it was, quote, commonplace for Groover to be drunk, and say he was high the night he showed up, the night of the incident. The Groover family responded saying it's victim shaming. They're also saying they've been pressured to agree to a plea deal, which would result in a lesser sentence for Nakan. Nakan's trial is scheduled for July, and Phi Delta Theta will remain banned from LSU's campus until 2033.
And the LSU football team suffered a loss, but it's not what you think. LSU PD arrested 3 men for stealing a John Deere vehicle from the LSU football locker room Sunday morning. Tyler Johns, Daryl Lawley, and Robert Nicholas were booked on a count of theft, while Lawley was charged with a DWI. LSU PD gave Lawley a breathalyzer test after stopping the vehicle at the intersection of Dalrymple and Cypress Drive. The vehicle is worth over $10,000 and has been returned safely to LSU.
Police are still looking for an unknown suspect after a woman was sexually assaulted by a man posing as a rideshare driver. They say the woman was leaving Tigerland early last Tuesday morning and got into a vehicle before she checked her app, and she told police that the driver then attacked her. The victim fought him off and jumped out of the moving vehicle, and police are now urging students to be aware when they use rideshare services like Uber and Lyft.
That's why we're asking those individuals that are using those services and the actual drivers of those services to pay attention to what's going on, because we know that there are predators out there, and we want you to be able to use those services as safe as possible.
Police say the driver was in a dark-colored vehicle, and anyone with information is asked to call the Baton Rouge Police Department.
And with safety a major concern on campus, some students have found a new way to keep LSU safe.
The LSU School of Social Work is creating a survey that would help students understand their risk of being abducted. The survey uses respondents' internet history to show how it affects their risk of abduction. Graduate students Emily Ryan and Adrian Valley created the survey in hopes of targeting human trafficking on LSU's campus. They say college students are the most vulnerable because of their overwhelming presence on social media.
Once we get all that feedback and see what people do on social media, we want to take those results and we want to specify what you can do about it. What's the biggest problem here on campus with social media, and what can you do about it as a student?
They're hoping the survey will help students realize that their online habits and provide solutions on how they can protect themselves. You can check out their social media page, Target Trafficking LSU, for more information.
A new study at Pennington Biomedical Research Center proves a shot of whiskey or tequila may help you shed a few pounds. Reporter Carly Yakel has the story.
Over 50% of Americans drink alcohol at least once a month, but little is known about how the body processes it. So Dr. John Apalzon decided to do some research.
The Consume study is looking at alcohol and weight loss, but what's really unknown is the effects of alcohol on body weight.
The study will monitor participants' weight over an 8-week period. Every day, participants eat breakfast at the research center and pick up their packed lunch and dinner. They also head over to the waiting room to have their morning checkup.
When you come in, you'll have to step on a scale pretty much, fill out a few questionnaires, and then get your a body scan, MRI, magnetic resonance imaging.
The MRI is used to determine the amount of fat around internal organs. Researchers believe alcohol may help burn this negative fat.
It may affect body fat distribution. So we think everyone will go in and lose the same amount of weight, but it may affect where the weight is lost from.
The Consume study is a preliminary trial, but they hope to continue research on the effects of alcohol. This is Carly Yakel with Tiger TV Newsbeat.
To find out more about the Consume study or to sign up, head to Pennington's website, www.pbrc.edu. Earlier this month, LSU's Department of Textiles, Apparel Design, and Merchandising had the opportunity of a lifetime.
That's right. Alexia Tsaropoulos has more on how New York Fashion Week played a part with LSU this year.
That's right, guys. Recently, an LSU fashion merchandising major experienced what she hopes will be her future dream job. Here's more about what it takes to get your name in the fashion game.
Katie Brunet recently experienced a life-changing opportunity that will give her a leg up once she comes to find a job or internship throughout her career. Brunet is a junior studying apparel design at LSU, and it was through her major that she was able to attend New York Fashion Week, and now she can confidently say,
I really want to work there. I want to move there and have a job in the industry there.
Early this year, Brunet's professors told her about this opportunity through IMG College Licensing. They were sending 17 students from 13 universities to New York Fashion Week. IMG intended for this opportunity to be a once-in-a-lifetime experience and insight into the fashion industry to some of the best and brightest students from our partner institutions. Bruce Cameron, the head of the Department of Textiles, Apparel Design, and Merchandising, was contacted by IMG, and he thought this experience would be an excellent opportunity for his students to get a behind-the-scenes look at their futures.
We sort of created an application for students to submit to us, and there was like 16 or 17 students who ultimately applied, and Katie was the one that was selected.
But this was to have options.
This was LSU's first time participating in this opportunity, and hopefully it won't be the last.
Obviously, going to Fashion Week is not like anything you're going to learn in the classroom. I've been emailing all the people that I met. I'm just like, hi, me again.
While in New York, Brunet and 16 other students attended orientations, saw multiple fashion shows, went to panels, and saw Bloomingdale's and Victoria's Secret Pink headquarters. But Brunet's favorite?
We went to a women empowerment panel with one of the designers who showed, I think the day before. It was one of her first shows.
Katie Brunet wants to encourage all who are interested to apply. And don't worry, you don't have to be a fashion major. To find out more, just contact the TAM head, Bruce Cameron, for more details. For Tiger TV, I'm Alexia Tsaropoulos. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Alexia. After the break, with Mardi Gras Day just a week away, it's time to unpack what the holiday has in store.
Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Newsbeat. Mardi Gras is right around the corner, and already LSU is getting into the holiday spirit. As much as people think Mardi Gras is just about beads, booze, and bands, it has some interesting history behind it. Mardi Gras season ties into the Catholic Christian calendar, starting in January and ending the Tuesday before Ash Wednesday. Mark Martin of LSU Libraries speaks on some of the history behind Baton Rouge's Mardi Gras.
World War II happened, and then nothing. There was no Mardi Gras for. There were a couple attempts, I think in 47 and 48 there was 2 parades, but that didn't last. And then the early 50s there was another attempt and that fell apart. So it wasn't until the 70s, 1970s, that there was a consistent, ongoing Mardi Gras in Baton Rouge.
For the last 49 years, Baton Rouge Mardi Gras has been an ongoing party. However you celebrate this year, remember to be safe, and remember that Louisiana does it best. And with Fat Tuesday around the corner, many are looking forward to catching some beads and other colorful toys. But it's easy to ignore the devastation that parade throws cause waterways. And in the heart of Mardi Gras country, the Mississippi River can get the worst of it. But hear how one LSU scientist will have a new way of measuring floating plastic just in time for the holiday.
I was moving from Belle Chase up towards Tanner on the river, and we started counting water bottles, and we gave up because we just lost track. There were so many.
Dr. Mark Benfield is on a mission to track plastic waste in Louisiana's waterways, and recently he turned to a new technology with a lot of buzz in the research community.
A drone allows you the ability to conduct regular flights over the river at low altitude, taking pictures, and then as long as we know the area of the image, we can then calculate numbers of plastics per square area.
And just in time for carnival season. Last year, about 100,000 pounds of Mardi Gras beads were pulled from New Orleans catch basins, which means that plenty of this festive plastic never leaves the watershed.
You know, all these beads that get thrown onto the ground, they get washed into the sewers and ultimately make their way into the river as well.
It's very shocking to see the amount of plastic that's just left, and there's just no kind of, group or community to come clean it up.
Fish can mistake beads for food, and once the plastic breaks down into smaller pieces, called microplastic, it can wreak even more havoc on marine animals, poisoning wildlife from the bottom of the food chain to the top. Dr. Benfield hopes to have his drones in the air by Mardi Gras so he can measure exactly how much litter the holiday brings.
After these big major parades and everyone's having fun, all this plastic is thrown and there's just no one to pick it up.
The beads are a hot commodity when they're in your hand or in the air, and then after the parade there's all this debris that's left behind and people walk away from it.
But the researcher hopes that measuring the damage done by Louisiana's signature celebration will convince the public to make changes for the better. And Tiger TV will keep you updated as the project takes to the skies. And parade litter isn't easy to get rid of. One of the plastics used in Mardi Gras beads, called polystyrene, can take up to 1 million years to fully decompose. So happy Mardi Gras, Tigers, and if you're celebrating the holiday, don't forget the green in purple, green, and gold. Coming up, how a former LSU athlete is hoping his message will reach the next generation. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome back. Last night, former LSU basketball player Muhammad Abdul-Rauf, formerly known as Chris Jackson, was the keynote speaker for Black History Month. He touched on how his upbringing, battle with Tourette's syndrome, conversion to Islam, and political activism shaped him as a person and as a basketball player. He also described his career at LSU and what set them apart when making his decision to come here.
But the thing that influenced me more than anything, in talking, Dale Brown visited, Coach Carter's visited. The one that I talked to the most of was Coach Carter's. We spent about 1,000 hours on the phone. Out of all of those hours on the phone, 99% of those times had nothing to do with basketball. And that kind of, for me, that it wasn't just about me shooting hoops.
Well, that's all the time we have. For more news, you can check out our social media pages or visit tigertv.tv. For Tiger TV, I'm Trey Cuvion.
And I'm Rachel Handley. Thanks for joining us, and have a great night, Tigers.